Okay, well, just want to, oh, let's see, before I get started here, I got to mute everybody. Okay, there we go. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in tonight. I have five of, well, there'll be five of us together. I've asked four of my brothers who are involved in our Juice Plus virtual franchise to kind of share their perspective. And this call is primarily targeted towards men, whether you're taking a look at our business, maybe you've just gotten started and you want to know more about, you know, a little bit of, people who have been successful in this business, or maybe you are a partner or a husband or a significant other of a woman who has chosen to get involved, and you're not quite sure what they're doing, and maybe this call will help you learn a little bit more on how to support them. And so there's two major aspects of our business. One is the aspect of health, and the other aspect is helping people improve their relationship to time and cash flow. And my good friend and I'm sorry, my phone is ringing here as I'm on the middle of this call. Dr. Manan Razak is a pediatrician. He and his wife have a thriving pediatric clinic. He's also an entrepreneur, and I can't think of a better person to kind of highlight the health aspect of what we have with Juice Plus and our Healthy Living Revolution. So Manan, please share away.
Thanks, Doug, and great to be on this call with all the gents. So as Doug mentioned, I'm a pediatrician. I practiced in the ER for 10 years, and my wife and I have opened our own pediatric medical practice, and we've been doing that for 8 years now. And every day, what we do with our patients, we advise them to eat healthy, take 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables, and we ourselves were not taking that. And the major reason is it's not convenient to take 7 to 13 servings. Now, Juice Plus has solved that problem. So as you guys know, Juice Plus is 30 different raw, vine-ripened whole food concentrate in capsules and gummies. It is non-GMO. It is also scientifically proven. So it is the most researched nutritional product in the world, with 35 published peer-reviewed medical journals. Now, research conducted at universities like MD Anderson Cancer Center, Vanderbilt, University of Florida, University of South Carolina, Yale, Namor Children's, has used the product and have conducted studies on people, not lab animals, people. So all of these institutions and many more have shown things like bioavailability. Now, to me, bioavailability means if I'm taking this product, is it going into my bloodstream like it says it is? So that 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C that you're getting in the store, you are definitely not getting that 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, because they don't have to prove it. Here, Juice Plus has proven it through multiple studies. There's an oxidative stress study that shows there's increased level of antioxidants in your bloodstream. The Newcastle study actually changed my life. It showed that there's a reduction in total cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, and plasma tumor necrosis factor alpha, and of course, increased lean body mass. So what that did to me after I read that study is I took myself off of cholesterol meds, and I did see the same results that that study was showing that it was going to do. And I've been off of cholesterol meds for about a year now. Now, Juice Plus is a food, not a vitamin. So there are no warning labels. So you won't hear me ramble on for 30 seconds and see how quickly that there are no side effects like the commercials of medications will have. So that is very important. Anything that we're taking will have, medication-wise, will have side effects. This is food. There are no side effects. The business aspects of it is through network marketing. Now, This is where I can utilize my strength as an individual person, where I bring in customers to the business, but then I can leverage team members that I bring into the business. Now, in my pediatric practice, I do not generate any revenue unless I see a patient. Here, I can bring on a client, improve their health, and then continue to have residual passive income. I can also leverage the work done by my downline and team members, and that's more passive income. This is exactly what we did this past summer when we went on a cross-country road trip, and I was able to still generate enough income to pay the lease of my medical practice. And I'm going to tell you about some of the costs involved with running a medical practice. So malpractice for a pediatrician is about $10,000 a year. Whether I see a patient or not, $10,000. Of course, basic utilities, rent, salaries of staff members. Juice Plus was $50 and my time. I don't think it can get any better than that. What I do is, we have brochures in the office. I discuss nutrition, whether it's part of an annual visit or a sick encounter. I show them how Juice Plus has improved my family's health and how it can improve theirs. I give them an order form, they fill it out, leave it at the front desk, and then at the end of the day, I will place that order on my phone or the laptop. And then over the course of the week, I'll spend several hours following up with these customers. Now, whether you want to earn $500 or several $1,000s or tens of $1,000s a month, all of that is possible. You are your own boss. Men can easily improve their health and financial status without much upfront cost. Doug knows that I also dabble in real estate a little bit. So in order to generate $200 or $300 a month in real estate, you need to invest $50,000 to $60,000 as down payment. After all your mortgage, insurance, all of that cost has paid, you're able to pay off. If you're making $200 to $300, that is considered a positive income and a great investment. And here we're talking $50. Yes, this industry is mostly women. So I'm glad we're having a men's call. We need to bring in more gents into this business because it's easy, it's simple. And why let all the women have fun? So now I'd like to bring on Michael. Michael is a physical therapist, and his wife is a nurse. They're new QNMDs in the Juice Plus company. Michael.
Awesome. Everything great. Awesome. So yeah, thanks, Doc. As you mentioned, I'm a physical therapist. Also competed in a bodybuilding competition. I'm a personal trainer as well, and also world championship Ironman competitor. And just to give you a little bit about my story, 11 years ago, I was at the top of my game. I just won first place in a bodybuilding competition. I'd met the woman of my dreams. I was living in Hawaii. And really living a pinch me life. Was playing big, having big adventures, and I worked hard as a physical therapist, and I played hard as well. I had an adventurous spirit, and that woman I had met is now my wife. She's a Yale trained nurse practitioner, and upon first meeting her, she basically said, "Look, we got to get on board with this program." And so I explored it. Turned out it was flooding my body with plants, which made sense to me because Hippocrates always said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And it was plant powder. So, I mean, how much more convenient can you get than popping some capsules and blending up some shakes? Pretty simple. And what I found is I was able to use that as my nutritional program and dissolve my shelf of unsubstantiated vitamins and supplements. And I used that nutritional program as my foundation for training for the World Championship Ironman. It was, like I said, it was instrumental. I was able to qualify and compete in the World Championship Ironman out in Hawaii. I was able to race across the finish line, drop and do 50, 60 push-ups, and dance and celebrate with my friends and family, and never look back. And one of the things about endurance racing is oftentimes people push themselves beyond and beyond their immune system, so to speak, and they end up with flu-like symptoms afterwards. Well, I never had any of that. I never had any repetitive use injuries, and to this day, I still don't have any regrets. So the thing with the nutritional program is, like I said, loading my body with fruit and veg just made sense. That was a no-brainer. As a physical therapist, I looked at the science. As Doc mentioned, we've got lots of science. Ask Siri if you don't believe me. It's the most thoroughly researched nutritional product in the world. That was just a no-brainer. And then what I realized is we were sharing it with those that we love, just like we share a good book or a good movie. And I realized I could get reimbursed for this. This is crazy. And that's the essence of a passive residual income. So fast forward 11 years, we have not one, not two, but three amazing active children. We're a very active 4-season lifestyle, and we love to play. We love to travel. And my physical therapy job kind of holds me down and doesn't necessarily give me that freedom. I feel grateful that we've persisted in this journey over the past 11 years, kind of going in and out. But the piece that really hit me was when we made the choice, or when we had the opportunity to make the choice for my wife to either go back to work as a nurse practitioner or to stay home with our children. And we had the ability to make that choice, and she chose to be home with our children. We wanted to be the ones to raise our children. It was probably one of the most fulfilling choices we've made. And gosh, after this time, I realized kind of three things. One, I want to enjoy what I do. I want to feel fulfilled at what I'm doing, and I love to play with my family. My physical therapy job is trading hours for pay. And what I realized is I want more hours in my week, and I want more pay at the end of the month. And the 2 weeks paid vacation, doesn't cut it for me. I wanted to continue to play, and my wife has expensive taste. I don't know how many men out there have wives that have expensive tastes. And it's interesting. My wife was the one who first introduced this idea, and I got on board. It says, she's beautiful, she's amazing, I'm going to do whatever she says. And what I realized is we kept on hitting up against the wall, and that wall was the wall of her, what I call her ITC, or I'm too cool, Yale ego. And I wanted to take our family to the next level. I wanted to design a life that was more than what my physical therapy career could do. And so I took a look at the program. I sat down with our coaches, with our mentors, and we looked and we said, you know what? We're sitting on a gold mine. There's no reason in the world we should not be taking full advantage of this. And, I really believe that when we're doing the right thing in the world, it serves us and it also serves others. And how amazing that my income directly reflects the number of lives that have been transformed. So we had a potential to retire ourselves from these primary careers, and we're in the process of doing that. So, the career, the encapsulated powdered produce was a no-brainer. The research is a no-brainer. Sharon's a no-brainer. So diving in and making this a full-fledged career became a no-brainer. And again, originally it was my wife's idea, but now this has turned into my vision and my mission. I take my role as a provider seriously, and there's no way that my PT income, like I said before, could offer the lifestyle that I want for my family, but we're making it happen with this. Now we find ourselves creating, living, and fulfilling dreams. We're setting the example for our children on how to set a goal and work towards it. We're setting the mindset for our children to dream big. What do they want in life? Let's work towards it. Let's make it happen. As a bachelor, my physical therapy career was lucrative, but I didn't have any responsibilities. Now I'm a proud father, and I've got 5 people in my family I need to take care of, myself included. My physical therapy income can't do that, not with the lifestyle I want. And just to kind of wrap it up, my physical therapy profession was awesome. I had a degree, but I had lifestyle limitations. This networking franchise is global. There's no degree required, and there's a limitless potential. So, if I let my fear of growing, or my limited self-worth, or even my ego be bigger than my dreams, they'd still be stuck in a box somewhere, unable to be actualized. So I stand stronger today in my vision, my career path, and my financial stability to design a life that I've never before lived. And that's the potential with this franchise. I couldn't have been scared to grow. I had to be brave. I had to be willing to take the risk to play big and let go of playing small. I had to be daring enough to get out of my own way and design the life for my family and I. And I'm so grateful that we got in line and stayed in line. So thank you so much for letting me be on the call and just share that part of my story. I'm super honored to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Jeff Olson. We had the honor to hear him speak live in Southern Oregon, Ashland, Oregon, a little while ago. His story is contagious. His energy is contagious. He's a ball of knowledge, and I'll let him share a little bit more about who he is. Take it away, Jeff.
My knowledge just comes from being around a long time. not as long as Dougie and Chris, but you learn. Sometimes you got to learn things the hard way. Well, thank you, everyone. I think we set this call up to try to access a conversation with the men who kind of come in maybe as a flanking sort of conversation through our wives. I think all of us on the call tonight, married up. I certainly did, and it's why I'm really talking to you today. My wife took the lead, and I've been working full time with Tony for over a decade now. But my story, Juice Plus, made immediate sense to me. When I saw Juice Plus, I understood it was different. I think different approach. Plant powders, produce concentrates. I saw it as just simple, smart health food. Ever since, I've conditioned my body every day with produce concentrates. And there's a compounding effect to this matter that matters, as I call it. But prior to launching in the business with my wife, I was a pro athlete. I worked in Wall Street. I was in technology. 20s and 30s, I was really transport for testosterone. I, was pretty alpha and the guy, the provider, but I ended up, learning some things after my professional athletic career. Overtraining ended my professional athletic career. Ambition drove me to Wall Street. Desire to make money fast sucked me into the .coms. I was successful, but I was being the provider for my family, but I was grinding it out. I was grinding. I was completely unfulfilled. I was making good money, but successful financially. Maybe the fulfillment really wasn't there. I was being an employee. I was being an employee. I was working for others. I was, I guess I got to a place where I sort of realized that didn't work for me. I had a mentor in Dougie Barlow, kind of showed me that, I could build this thing fun, fast, and have a lifestyle. And he's my playmate outdoors. We've had a lot, and Cotton too. We've had a lot of fun playing together and having a lifestyle where we can live our lifestyle and do our business. I think, back when I was working in corporate, I kind of had to put my family's dreams up on the shelf. But I didn't really have a clue how to change my position or change my lot in life. I thought I was going to be a worker and an employee. I didn't really know what an entrepreneur was. And when I realized, or when I discovered what it was, and I saw folks like Dougie and Chris, I said, I want to be like that. But I had some learning to do. It was around that time when my wife had launched her business. And as the old saying goes, it starts out as her business. And when the check gets big enough, it becomes our business. And she did that. She started paying the mortgage, and it got my attention. So if you're a man and you got a spouse or a significant other who's just launching this business, the one thing I did right, here's the one thing I did well. I was supportive. And so the three things you want to write down, I started out being supportive. I began to see her, become an entrepreneur. And I was like, wow, could I do that too? I didn't really understand, there was so much I didn't know. I had a big ego, which is maybe excludes great opportunity. That's the acronym there. But I didn't know what I didn't know. I was intellectually ignorant. And I guess, I would invite those guys that are tuning in to plug in and poke the bear and ask the questions and learn and have some beers with management and corporate and leadership and see if the people that are in this company and in this culture are the kind of people that, one, you want to hang with, and two, you respect. I've learned, my mentors in this business are Dougie and Chris and others that have been around a while. And, we don't pay the wrong people. This is one of the things in your due diligence. The company pays you to do a few simple things. We go out and we retail health food products. And you can earn a nice side income. But to build income beyond your own ability to produce it, that's how an entrepreneur thinks. And so transitioning out of the supporter role and into kind of beginning to think entrepreneurially with my wife, I'm like, what if we could grow this? What if we could grow this beyond our own ability to produce income? That's where you get into profit sharing. And the way I describe it is, we started out as health food agents, agents for the health food company of Juice Plus. And we then said, hey, let's bust off and start a health food agency, as I call it, like a real estate agency or an insurance agency or a sports agency where you have other agents working, your tribe, your mates, your people, and you help them build their own retail business. And as the agency owner, you can profit share. So that's one way to think of it. An agency, you can be an agent or you can own an agency and profit share with other agents. Network marketing, let me just close with this because I think, network marketing's gained a bad rap for a very real reason. And I was very resistant to network marketing for the very simple reasons of over-promising and under-delivering, upfront high buy-in fees where you're spending $1,000, $1,500 to join the club. Where it is a buyer's club. Pay the fee and get join the club and pay the fee and you're incentivized and you get paid to recruit people and join the club. Well, what I came to realize is we're almost the exact opposite of that. If you think franchising is consumer driven, and we are consumer driven. 85% of the people who consume Juice Plus around the world are only customers. They have nothing to do with our business. I don't know of another gig out there where you can be a 1099 independent contractor and have full healthcare benefits. Profit sharing is available to help others be successful through their retailing. And in the end, here's my invitation. I would encourage you to do your due diligence on this company and juxtapose it to the rest of the industry. I don't have a problem with network marketing, but there are some things about it that I do have a problem with. And we've pulled pieces from franchising. We've pulled pieces from corporate with healthcare benefits. We've pulled pieces from franchising, and we've pulled pieces from direct sales. And so what the term that I use is network franchise. We are a bit of a unicorn. I haven't found another company that is like us. And that's the one thing that held me back. And it took me 2, 3, 4 years to get my questions answered and to really understand how we are different. As Juice Plus is different, and plant powders are different than a multivitamin, so too is our network franchise different than any other business model that I've seen. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy. Jeremy is the one thing I can say about Jeremy is he's from my hometown of Bozeman, Montana. Anyone from Montana, let alone Bozeman, Montana, is the man. So Jeremy, take it away.
All right. Well, hey, good evening, everyone. Those are some tough acts to follow. The international man of leisure, a pediatrician entrepreneur, and a physical therapist Ironman. And, oh, by the way, the Olympian Wall Street guru. Thanks for putting me after them, Doug. Better yet, like Jeff said, I think I'm on the call with the only other person from Montana, and neither of us are currently there. So here's for understanding that Montana is currently vacant. But I'm going to approach this a little bit different than the guys before me. I'm going to talk about what the product did for me. I was a full-time single dad and a soldier. And I was living on the burgers, mac and cheese, and beer diet. The bachelor diet. I was in pain every day and on the verge of both back and neck surgery. But there was no way I could get them. And my surgeon hounded me every day. I was worried, who's going to lift my son into his car seat? Who's going to look after him? Then this lady I was trying to pursue, who was way out of my league, by the way, and she shared it with me. And I thought, hey, I'd pay to talk to her again. A few months later, after taking the product, the pain diminished and I lost 30 pounds. I swear this product was made for men like me. I wasn't going to be eating broccoli or 9 to 14 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, but I knew I needed to. And it may just be my opinion, but I felt like women are more likely to eat healthy than us men left to our own devices or demise, whatever. Guys, it's really that simple. Like building an entertainment center without reading the directions, and you don't even have to hear about not reading the directions. This gets getting all the fruits, vegetables, and berries without eating all the fruits, vegetables, and berries, let alone figuring out how I was going to cook them on the grill. But back to that lady. A year and a half later, we got married. We worked as full-time soldiers for the Army, and we'd come home at nights and she would start working her Juice Plus business. And yeah, it made us a few extra $100 each month, but I was skeptical. As a guy who'd been only in the Army, I thought for some reason, like I knew business, like I was an expert in it. But trying to be the best husband, I thought if I joined the business, since I love the products, it would make her happy. Now, I'm not saying you guys got to do that. But me, I just wanted to make her feel supported. However, I was still skeptical and I wasn't invested. And let's be honest, I didn't want to crawl into bed with her and her computer some nights. And I dabbled in my business, but we can all agree that's not really supportive. But this year, after attending my second Juice Plus conference, I learned more about the product and the company behind it. I realized that not only the products are made for men like me, the business opportunity is as well. Now that I've come to the conclusion that this is a legit business opportunity, I'm treating it that way. My wife and I, we've quadrupled our income, and both of our businesses are growing like weeds. Now, again, we aren't trying to get you to join the business. We'd love it if you did, but when I realized that if I helped cook dinner or I watched the neighborhood kids while she did an event, our money grew, and it grew substantially. My wife is currently retiring from the Army early, and she's working at replacing her income. It's been fantastic. Now, the other day, I was listening to this training from Doug's better half, and I mean much better half. And she said, we're all money driven. Now, we all like to hide behind the part that money doesn't buy happiness, but we all have items we wish we could buy or things that we wish we could do. And especially when it comes to giving back to others that we care for. Now I watch my wife and I get more and more of those items, and we do more and more for other people. I get to watch her get a pay raise every month, which really struck a chord with me as a military member. We get a pay raise every 2 years. No matter how hard we work, I get the same pay raise as the guy next to me who is burping the alphabet. And that's not right. Getting paid for your involvement and skills is a much better method. This is the wave of the future, home-based businesses that deliver to your doorstep. Gentlemen, it has taken me a long time to realize what my wife was doing for me and my family, but it's been incredible. And I joke with my friends, and I hope she's not listening, because then my secret's out, but I've outpunted my coverage. She's become quite the entrepreneur / sugar mama, and supporting her and her business, it was the best financial decision I've ever made. Enough about me. I'm going to turn it back over to Doug, the international man of leisure.
Hey, thanks so much, Jeremy. And I just want to wrap things up here. It's been an amazing 24 years for me. I did not have any hesitation. When I first heard about the concept of fruit and vegetable in a capsule, I kind of thought of George Jetson, and this is a no-brainer. You know, what don't you get? The fruits in the vegetable or the in a capsule? So my big question was, doesn't everybody need to eat this, and can you actually make money telling other people? As a good student, I worked as a maritime engineer. I was used to making good money, and I had a lot of free time working on ships. However, I was not in control of my industry. And when it came time, when I realized I was done with shipping, I needed to move on, I was going to take a big pay cut. And more importantly, I was going to lose out on all that free time. So I was very grateful when my friend, who, similar to Jeremy's story, I got so excited that I married the gal that introduced me to Juice Plus. But I got invited to an event, and I think knowledge is power, especially if you can put it into action. So I was open enough. I wanted to learn more about how this works. So I went to events, and I learned more about the product. I learned more about the company and the concept of what is network marketing. And then most importantly, I learned how I could become a part of that. And so, for me, the fact that if you wanted to, you could compress a lifetime's worth of work into a couple years worth of effort. At 33 years of age, I thought, wow, if I could retire by the time I'm 40, I got a lot better things I can do with my time than go to work. And while being an engineer was good, it wasn't great. But this opportunity has turned out to be more than great, more than anything I ever imagined. And I just want to close with a couple of thoughts, especially if you know you're already in and you want to put your best foot forward, or if you're not sure, or if you want to know how to support your partner. There's a couple of things I just want to close with. And that is that in our business, it's not like a job where you put it in 40 hours a week, you get paid instantly.
in the beginning, our business model, you put in a lot of time and you may not see that much of a return on your investment. It's more of an entrepreneurial venture. Do you know anyone who's gone into business for themselves where for the first 3 years they're paying off debt? So in the beginning, it may look like your partner or your significant other, they're putting in a tremendous amount of time, but their check isn't necessarily growing. But over time, you can spend less and less time on your business, and the check becomes more and more significant. So that concept of residual income, how hard would you have to work if you were going to compress a lifetime's worth of work into a couple of years worth of effort? The other thing that I just want to share is that, being an entrepreneur is much different than being a wage earner. You can trade hours for dollars and you're limited there. You could become a sole proprietor like Dr. Manan Razak, but in the end, you're still an employee. You're just an employee of yourself. You could become a business owner, where you have an opportunity for a business system to grow without your, maybe you're like Bill Gates or Michael Dell, Jeff Bezos, but that wasn't me. I was just an average person who had an above average desire, and I wanted to have more in life. And so with that, our business, you have to ask yourself, are you willing to do a few things for a short period of time that most people would never do, so that down the road, you can do whatever you want while the rest of the world is still slugging it out? And by that, I mean ultimate freedom. You have to define what that freedom is. But for me, it's all about, achieving optimum cellular health and a shot at sex. It's about improving your relationship to free time, which I think we, as human beings, I always ask people, would you take twice the free time for half the money? And then finally, we improve people's relationship to cash flow. And so with that, I just want to thank all of you. If you have any questions or comments, I want to invite you to get back with the person who invited you to listen to this call. I'll encourage you to come to an event, get to learn more about the culture of who we are. As Jeff said, we are a business unlike any other business, and a lot of that has to do with the leadership as well as the concept. So with that, on behalf of my esteemed companions, Dr. Manan Razak, Michael Brown, my good buddy Jeff Ovi Olson, and Jeremy Skates, this is Doug Barlow saying goodnight. And if you have people that would like to hear this information, it's been recorded, and you can talk to the person who invited you, and you can listen to our recording. Thanks for your time. Have a great week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Doug. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Good job, Jeremy.
Love you guys. Aloha.